Fans of Bravo watched Giudice develop during the course of her time on The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Before the first episode of the show aired, she was just 8 years old. At this point in time, Teresa's eldest daughter is a young lady who is constructing a life for herself. She disclosed that she had lately discovered a large lump that had caused her to be anxious about her future. If you want to know everything, keep reading. Giudice, Teresa Giudice's daughter, reveals that she discovered a huge lump after spending her childhood on reality television. Giudice is still trying to find her footing. In the beginning of this month, she was present at an iHeartRadio event. During her time on the red carpet, Gia took the time to discuss a recent health concern with X-Ray. A large mass was discovered by the graduate of Rutgers University, who stated that she discovered it under her armpit. Her description of the bulk was as follows: "It was enormous and it was protruding out." Gia said that it was causing her discomfort, so she went to the doctor to examine it and get it checked out. During the duration of the ultrasound, she remembers pleading with the technician to reassure her that the condition was not cancer. "As the lady was giving me the treatment, I found myself with tears streaming down my face. Pretend that it is not the C word. Say it's not?" The reality star recalls thinking with a lot of passion. Although the technician was unable to determine whether or not Gia was suffering from cancer, they did offer her some solace. A woman told Gia, "You're going to be fine," and she believed her. Earlier this year, Teddy Mellencamp, a former cast member of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, disclosed that she is currently undergoing treatment for brain cancer. Because of this, it should not come as a surprise that Giudice was concerned that the tumor she discovered might be cancer. The good news is that her physician gave her the green light. A lipoma, which is a common type of tumor that develops beneath the skin, was the lump that was diagnosed. The majority of the time, these tumors are not harmful. However, they can cause pain and suffering. Not yet, but she intends to get it removed from her body. Why is she putting off the operation for so long? Why she has decided to postpone the surgery? In addition to alleviating pain or suffering, the lipoma may be removed surgically in certain instances for cosmetic reasons. In the instance of Giudice, the lump is causing her a significant amount of discomfort, and she desires to have it removed. However, she is unable to do so at this time. She explained to Extra that the lump cannot be removed at this time because she is now on a prescription medication that forbids her from doing so. Her goal is to have the operation in either May or June. Why is there a delay in the process? Due to the fact that I am currently taking Accutane, my dermatologist advised me to refrain from getting it removed at this time. This is because while you are taking Accutane, your skin does not recover properly. Rhobh alumnus joins the new show on Bravo. Fans of Teresa's kid will soon be able to watch her return to television. As a result of disagreements between the women, the Real Housewives of New Jersey have temporarily halted their production. On the other hand, Gia and other reality star TV offspring will soon be launching their very own show on Bravo. Watching the young reality stars as they attempt to establish their lives and careers in the Big Apple is the focus of the show, Making It in Manhattan. Giudice is not simply following in her mother's footsteps when it comes to being a reality TV star. Recently, she launched a brand new podcast that is titled Casual Chaos. Although she did not yet have her own podcast, she was a regular guest on her mother's podcast, which was called Turning the Tables. It is likely that Gia will provide her followers with an update after the operation has been planned. When was the last time you had a lipoma removed? Giudice has spent most of her life growing up in the public eye. As the eldest daughter of Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice, she has navigated family drama, televised storylines, and personal challenges while building her own identity. But nothing prepared her or her family for the moment she recently discovered a sudden lump that sent shockwaves of fear, uncertainty, and panic through the entire Giudice household. This unexpected health scare has not only changed Gia's perspective on her life, but has also forced the Giudice family to confront how fragile everything truly is. What started as a typical day quickly turned into a frightening turning point, revealing both the vulnerability and resilience of a young woman who has grown far stronger than many realize. A quiet moment that changed everything. Gia first noticed the lump during a routine moment at home. It was not a dramatic discovery for cameras or social media. It was something that happened when she least expected it. What began as a subtle discomfort escalated into a startling realization that something felt undeniably wrong. The shock of finding a lump on one's body is enough to unravel even the strongest person, and for Gia, the fear arrived suddenly and heavily. She spent the next few hours in a haze of thoughts, worries, and spiraling questions. It is easy to forget that despite her public presence, Gia is still a young woman facing decisions and emotions that would overwhelm anyone, let alone someone who carries the weight of a family name known across reality television. A family already tested by hardships, the Giudice family has weathered their share of storms, legal battles, financial struggles, public scrutiny, and painful separations. Through each challenge, Teresa has kept her daughters close. She has always spoken about protecting them from the darkest parts of her life, but some things cannot be shielded. A health scare hitting the eldest daughter is one of those moments. When Gia informed her mother, Teresa's initial reaction was one of disbelief that quickly turned into fierce determination. She had lived through enough trials to know that fear solves nothing, but action might. The house shifted into a state of emotional urgency as appointments were made, calls were placed, and a quiet tension filled every room. Even with her strong exterior, Teresa felt an invisible weight sitting heavy on her shoulders. She understood the terrifying uncertainty of waiting for answers. No matter how grown her children become, a mother never stops feeling responsible for their safety. And this time, the unknown felt more threatening than anything she had faced recently. The unspoken fear behind the cameras. The life of a Bravo personality often appears glamorous, loud, and dramatic. But behind the scenes, real life unfolds quietly and painfully. Gia's discovery was not something anyone planned to broadcast. It was private, frightening, and humbling. Yet the reality is that nothing stays private for long in their world. Rumblings of concern began to swirl as fans noticed cryptic posts, subtle changes in behavior, and hints that something was wrong. Still, this was not about publicity. It was about a young woman forced to stare at the possibility that her health was at risk in a way she had never imagined. The internet may buzz with speculation, but for the Giudices, the only focus was answers. The medical spiral, tests, waiting rooms, and silence. The days following the discovery felt endless. Gia underwent examinations, scans, and consultations while surrounded by a family trying to appear calm, but constantly unraveling behind the scenes. The silence of waiting rooms is its own kind of torture, and each click of a clock only made the fear grow heavier. The medical process is not glamorous. It is sterile, slow, and emotionally draining. For Gia, it felt like her life paused while everyone else continued theirs. The world outside kept moving, filming, posting, trending, and reacting, but she remained inside a bubble of dread, waiting for clarity about her own body. A family closing ranks as the news began spreading through their inner circle. The Giudices did something they have not always been known for. They closed ranks. Past conflicts and disagreements suddenly seemed meaningless. This time, unity became a necessity. Her younger sisters, usually energetic and outspoken, grew quiet, keeping close to Gia and offering comfort in the only ways they knew how. Joe Giudice, though far away, remained glued to updates from the family. Regardless of distance or circumstances, a father's concern is unwavering. The family leaned on routine conversation and even silence to keep themselves grounded. They avoided catastrophizing despite the fear growing within them. This moment reminded them all that their biggest battles are not the ones shown on television, but the ones fought quietly behind closed doors. Gia's strength emerges in a new light throughout this crisis. Gia displayed a kind of strength that surprised even those who know her best. She has always been mature beyond her years, shaped by the chaos of her childhood, but this experience forced her to confront something far more personal. Instead of retreating, she took control where she could. She researched, asked questions, and became her own advocate. Her courage during this time showed that she is no longer just the emotional teenager viewers once saw on screen. She is a young woman determined to face whatever comes her way. A turning point for the Giudice legacy. Whether or not the lump turns out to be serious, the experience itself has already altered the family's outlook. Health scares have a way of reshaping priorities. For Teresa, this moment became a reminder that fame, conflict, and reputation mean nothing when the well-being of her children is threatened. For Gia, it became a lesson in how quickly life can shift and how vital it is to take her body's signals seriously. The family emerged more aware, more connected, and more appreciative of the moments they share. It also reinforced their bond at a time when personal challenges and public narratives often pull them in different directions. What comes next as they wait for the final results? The Giudices remain cautiously hopeful. They understand that life rarely follows a predictable script, and this scare is yet another chapter in a life filled with unexpected twists. But one thing is clear: no matter the outcome, this moment has strengthened their resolve and deepened their appreciation for each other. Gia's discovery was terrifying, but it also became a catalyst for reflection, unity, and emotional growth. It reminded the family that beneath the fame and the headlines, they are human first, vulnerable, imperfect, and deeply connected. And for Gia, this frightening moment may ultimately become the experience that shapes her into the woman she is meant to become.